yeah. Kingdom citizen of Wisconsin. Kingdom citizen, yeah, yeah. Kingdom citizen. Blessings, blessings, and blessings, everyone. This is Dr. David D. King, Kingdom Citizens of Wisconsin, and it is our Think About It Tuesday show. And the reason we're doing it on tonight is because we was down and we're now back up and running. And so we are here to do our Think About It Tuesday night. And I am excited about Think About It Tuesday tonight, even though it's on a Wednesday night. So we just ask you guys, come on, share with everybody. Let's get the gang all here. So as we begin to share with everyone, Kingdom Citizen of Wisconsin show, and tonight, why it's important to vote on Tuesday. We got an election coming up this Tuesday in a lot of different races. And so we want to talk about that tonight on Think About It Tuesday. I want to give a shout out to I call it my office, place where I love to sit around and eat and fellowship, have meetings, and all of that good stuff over at El Greco's, 9143 West Appleton Avenue in Milwaukee. Amen. I love going there to eat. I love going there to fellowship, break bread, have conversation with people. I love just to be able to feel at home, and and the way they treat me very well. And I also want to give a shout out to my barber, brother Diedrich King at King Cut Salon. Go over there, you'll have a real conversation, a real barber shop talk. And so we're excited about all of that and all of that taking place. So come on down. So now, we want to really address some things that's going on. We know that next week, Tuesday, if you haven't voted early, is voting time. And we have a lot of different races that is going on that we want to talk about getting out and vote. And the thing about it is, we all need to vote. We all need to get out in this spring election and cast our vote. If you are in the Kenosha area, I want you to get out and vote for my friend, my brother, Lamar Madison, who's running for school board over in Kenosha. I want you guys to get out and vote for him. And if you are in the Kenosha area. So I'm excited about everything that's going on. Give me 1 second. I'm just tagging a couple of more people to this to the show, and then we're going to go ahead and begin to talk about some things. So we got this election, and y'all know how I do Think About It Tuesday. I just say what's exactly on my mind, how I feel, and exactly what needs to take place. So let's start with the Supreme Court race. All right? They're trying to scare you. They're trying to manipulate you on the Supreme Court race. And I want you guys to understand that the Supreme Court race is not about women's rights. It's not about abortion. It's not about guns. It's about defending the Wisconsin Constitution and the United States Constitution. And we need someone that's going to be representing the people and making sure that the Constitution is intact, that all of our rights, no matter what side of the fence you're on, you want to make sure that all of our rights are protected. Because when they start taking rights, and this is something that everybody got to understand and realize, when they start to attack rights, they're not attacking rights only on one side of the aisle or the other. They're attacking all of our rights. So you got to understand that. Move the smoke screens out of the way. Move the things that they got in place out of the way, and make sure you're making a right decision that is going to keep your rights, your right to protest, your right to fight, your right to disagree, your right to freedom of speech. You know, you need somebody that's going to be in the that's going to uphold the Constitution. And so this Tuesday, you need to vote for someone that's going to make sure that your rights stay in place. We do not need a Supreme Court activist. We need a Supreme Court justice that is going to stand up for the rights of the people, no matter what side of the fence you're on. All of our rights are at stake. All of our rights as a person, as a citizen of Wisconsin, as a citizen of the United States. And if you have not read the Constitution, whether it's the United States Constitution or the Wisconsin Constitution, I think you ought to do so you'll understand your rights. And there's 3 referendums that's on the ballot, and I believe that you all should vote yes on all 3, because you know we want to make sure that everybody is safe. And so when you look at it, take your time. You got until Tuesday. Look up everything. Go past the commercials. Because commercials is designed to make you dislike somebody. Commercials is not designed for you to like them, but they do it to make you dislike. They do it to make you to believe a lie. I say do your own homework. I say do your own due diligence to make sure that you are doing what is right for your family. Not just for anybody else, but what's right for your family, what's right for your children, what's right for you. And so when we look at the Supreme Court race, we have to make sure that those that are running for Supreme Court, it's only 2. You need to look at both of them. You need to look at the Constitution, the Wisconsin Constitution, and the Supreme Court Constitution, and say, who's going to uphold my rights? Who's going to protect my rights? Because no matter who it is, the moment they get sworn in or the day of inauguration, they're going to say to you that they swear to uphold the Constitution, to defend the Constitution. So, but they're not going to defend it. So you need to find out who's going to defend the Constitution, and that's who you should vote for on this coming Tuesday. Also, we have in Milwaukee a municipal court judge race is up. Do your homework on both candidates. I always tell people, nobody who didn't do anything for you while they was in office deserve a promotion. Nobody deserved a promotion when they didn't do their job on the level that they was at. So do your homework on these candidates before you vote. Then you have 3 automatic races in the city of Milwaukee: District 1, District 5, District 9. If you don't know which automatic district you live in, you need to look it up. You need to find out which automatic district you are in, and then go and look up the candidates. If you are in District 1, don't go off of people's last name. Go and look up people. Just because they got a nice last name or a familiar last name doesn't mean they're going to get in office and do right by you. So you have to look at each individual, the 2 in the 1st, the 2 in the 5th, and the 2 in the 9th. And you got to look them up. Just because, again, their last name is familiar doesn't mean they might be the right candidate for you. You got until Tuesday to find out about these people, and then you need to vote for these people and make sure that they are the candidate that you really want to represent you. And then we have school board race in the city of Milwaukee. Now, everybody that's on the school board that's running for re-election needs to be fired. Let me say that again. Everybody that's on the school board right now who's running for re-election needs to be fired. They do not need to be in office. You need to go and look up these people that are running for office. You need to go and have a serious conversation with them before Tuesday to find out what they stand on, to find out what they're about, to find out if they have your children's best interests at heart. So these are some of the things that you need to do before this election. Time out for doing the same thing, thinking something different is going to happen. They've been failing our children for a long time. And it is time for us to make sure that every last one is not in office after April the 4th, because they are not there for our children. They have done some things that should have been gone. Now, all of a sudden, it's election time, and you got some saying that the superintendent should be fired, or he should resign. But I'm gonna be honest with you, he should have been gone a long time ago. I'm gonna also be honest with you, everybody that's on the school board should have been gone a long time ago, because of the fact they didn't do anything in the best interest of our children. And this is why this election is so important, because you need to get out and make your voice be heard. You need to let them know, no more the same old, same old. You need to find out who really has the 1st, the 5th, and the 9th automatic district at heart, who really, really care about the people, who really wants to do right by the people, who really going to make sure that we're getting what we need in the 1st, the 9th, and the 5th district. Because here's the thing about it. If you don't do that, bless you, Pastor. Good to see you, sir. If you don't do that, then you should not complain. If you don't do your homework, if you don't do anything, and just let the April 4th go along and you don't vote, then you have no right to complain. So you got to make sure that you're out there and that you're voting, but that you did your homework, and don't just ask somebody else who to vote for. You need to do the homework yourself, because the person that you ask who to vote for might not have your best interests at heart. So you have to get out there yourself. You need to take some time to look these people up, and those that has a position already, what have they done in that position? What have they done? You have people that is running because of their last name. And you know what they say? They say the people are too lazy to look folks up if they just recognize a name They will just vote for the name. We can't afford to do that anymore. We need to know the people work. We need to know what they're doing. We need to know what they stand for. But here's the thing. That's the beauty of the 1st, the 5th, and the 9th automatic district. And the beauty of it is, and the beauty of it is this. I know let me do this. I know some people asking people who to vote for, but if you keep answering, then the thing about that is they'll never know who these people are. But if you show them where to look them up and show them what they stand for, then they'll know for themselves. Because here's the thing about it. We can tell a person, vote for a Republican just because he's a Republican doesn't mean he's there for the people. Or you can tell them to vote for a Democrat just because he's a Democrat doesn't mean that they're there for the people. Each individual needs to do homework on everybody to know what these people stand for. See, when we was in high school or middle school, you had people that was friends with you, and just because you didn't like somebody, they didn't like them. But that person never done nothing wrong to that person. They just going off of what you say. But the thing about it is, I'd rather for a person do the homework themselves than for me to tell them who to vote for, because of the fact that now they receive knowledge for themselves. Because what if they can't find you or remember who you want them to vote for, and now it's voting time. So we need to make sure that they do the homework themselves, and that way they'll be informed. See, we cannot continue to vote ignorant. We got to be informed. We got to be an informed voter. We got to know why we voting for a person. We got to make sure they believe the same thing we believe. We got to make sure that they stand for the same thing that I stand for. We got to make sure. Look what happened. They voted for Republicans, and they went to D.C. and supported a bill that was immoral, and they supported them. But here's the thing: if you knew that they was immoral before they went, you probably wouldn't have voted for them. But most people voted for them only because they had an R behind their name. And so you got to do your homework. You got to have a conversation with these people. You got to call and make sure that they're the right person because you had that conversation. This is why we're in trouble now, because media can make a person look terrible, but until you have that conversation, you don't know if this person is what the media is saying is true or not. So what we end up doing, we just go along with what somebody else says. We have to do our homework. We have to get them. If they don't know where to look it up at, then show them where to look it up at. Because I need to know for myself. Everybody need to know for themselves. Everybody got to understand that this person is going to go after my rights. They won't know it until they do some homework. They can't take our word on everything. They need to know for themselves. They gotta be able to answer, why did you vote for this person? Why did you vote for this person? Why did you vote for that person? Tell me why. Tell me something they done that was so good. Tell me something that they done that affected you or benefited you. Tell me something that they done that they earned your vote. What have they done? Don't vote for them because you say, well, I voted for them because they're R, or I voted for them because they're D, or I voted because they're libertarian, or I voted. No. Give me more than that. Give me something about the person. Give me something about his character. Is this person a person of integrity? Do they say one thing and do another? What's about this person? What about him you like? I don't want nobody to vote for me because they say, oh, well, he has a conservative mindset, so I'm gonna vote for him. No, I want you to know me. I want you to know who I am. And that's how I am when I vote for somebody. I want to know who you are. I want to know what you stand for. I don't want no surprises. I don't want no surprises after I vote you in office. But the beauty of automatic District 1, 5, and 9 is this. They win the election on the 4th. They are technically interns because they got to turn around and run again in 2024 to get a whole 4-year seat. So they just finishing out this term, but then they got to run again. So you might have missed it and missed out on voting for the right person, that they're not in the general election, but you can make that up in 2024 because all 3 automatic seats will be up in 2024. So these are some of the things that we need to know, we need to look at, and we need to make sure that we are doing our homework. I know a lot of us don't like that word. I know a lot of us don't like doing it. I know a lot of us don't like saying homework, but we need to know that we have to do our homework. We have to get to that place of studying, researching, knowing what these people are about, knowing that they are doing everything, knowing that you are doing everything. We got to stop voting ignorant, and we need to vote with knowledge. I am not denying my God-given right. I'm done with this government. I voted for who I believe in. Okay, and that's it right there. Voting for somebody you believe in. And the only way you can believe in them is you got to have a conversation. You got to get to know the person. You got to ask the tough questions, not the cute question. I remember when I first met, I call her the constitutional queen. She didn't come and ask me, you're a Republican, you're conservatives, I'm going to support you. No, she hit me with questions to make sure I knew what I was talking about, to make sure that I really is going to represent and defend the Constitution, make sure I'm willing to stand on that this country is a constitutional republic and not a democracy. They hit me with some really good questions. J-Rod hit me with good questions. And so they got a chance to meet me and get to know me. And so this is how we're supposed to do it with every candidate. We need to know them. We need to ask them real questions, not when the camera's around. We need to have a conversation. They need to be available to us to answer questions if they want our vote. And we cannot allow the way things used to be and just asking somebody who to vote for, but never ask why. Why should I support this person? Because they might not believe what I believe. They might not believe anything that I believe. Their whole belief system might be totally different from mine. The way they want to do policies might be totally different from mine. I like my constitutional rights. So if I like my rights, then guess what? I want to keep my rights. So I need to vote for somebody that's going to protect my rights. I mean, and it's not that hard. It's just us want to make that decision, or do our due diligence and vet these people, find out who they really are, and then we say yes or no. But not doing it is something that we got to get out of that habit, and just asking people, who are you voting for, who I voting for, or even allowing the party to tell you who to vote for, and you don't do your homework. So we're voting out of ignorance. We're voting being ignorant. We're voting not because we did our homework, but we're just voting because of the fact that it's our right. And so we're voting. So we have to make sure that everything we do it unto the glory of God. So we got to do our homework. We got to make sure that the individual is right. And if you feel strongly about somebody and somebody say, who you voting for? You can say, well, I'm voting for this person. And because I'm voting for this person, I want you to look him up. This is how you look him up. And this is why I'm voting for him. And so when that happens, now you can feel good about why I voted for somebody. You know, so many people voted for Joe Biden, and now they're wondering, why did I do that? I did not. And then here's the thing. I did not know he was going to do this, and I did not know he was going to do that. And I did not know why, because you didn't take time to look at what he was going to do. All you knew at the time is you followed media and you hated Trump, and so you voted for Biden. And that's a lot of people. And that is sad, is that's the only reason you voted for somebody, because you just didn't like the other person. But you can't even tell us why you didn't like the other person. You know, you can tell me what the media told you why you shouldn't vote for this person. But if you ain't never did your homework, if you never did any research, if you never went on Google search, or you never did anything to look a person up to see what they're really about, and then you just voting based off of what media is saying, that's not a good thing. This is why we gotta do it ourselves. We gotta do the homework. We gotta make sure that everything we do, you know, we know why we're doing it. Why am I voting for this person? Because what? What's the why that you're voting? What's the why in the 1st, 5th, and 9th district are you voting for these people that is running for automatic district? What is it about them, or what they have they done to earn your vote? What have they done? And there's a list of them that ain't never done anything. They just saw opportunity and they took it. And one took it because his wife is the sheriff. So the name is out there, so he can ride off the name. Never done nothing, but that's what they're running on. So when you look at this, you got to go do homework. What have they done? And if they're not really doing nothing in the community, what makes you think they're going to start doing something when they become aldermen? Same thing with the school board. You got to do your homework. You got to know what they stand for, what they believe in. Because if you put these same people back in office that haven't done anything but help destroy the education system, then shame on you. The ones who voted for different curriculums, the ones that approve certain books in our libraries, the ones who can't deal with the budget, the ones that just mess up the school system at MPS. If they get back in office, then shame on you for allowing them to get back in office, for not and rewarding them for destroying the education system, and rewarding them that right now, 10% of the children in MPS can read at their grade level, and 14% of our children can do math at their grade level. Nobody who's on the school board now, again, that is running for re-election should be re-elected. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. We need to make sure that we got people in place that is going to fix the problem, not allowing the problem to stay. People that are willing to say, you know what? We got issues. I got to make some tough decisions. And those tough decisions needs to be dealt with now. I know it's going to be tough, but we got to deal with them. If the person you're voting for gets into office, it's our job to hold them accountable. That's true too. It is our job to make sure they do exactly what you want to do. Now, let me say this, because I was talking to somebody and I said this, and I just want to see what you guys think. The service on the south side of Milwaukee, in certain areas on the south side of Milwaukee, is way better than the service on the north side of Milwaukee. And I was talking to somebody and I asked them, why do you think that is? And here's the reality of it. The Ottomans on the south side, in certain districts where the service is good, realize that the people in the district is their boss. So when the community call a town hall meeting, those Ottomans shows up. When that district start dialing that phone, that Ottoman answers, that Ottoman makes sure it get addressed, that Ottoman makes sure it's done. On the north side, the people on the north side don't know that they're the boss. And the Ottomans know that you don't know that you're the boss. That's why they don't come when you call. That's why they don't do what you need done. That's why the condition is the way that it is, because they don't believe that you know that you are their boss. And that's why they can get away with it. That's why they can harass store owners. That's why they can stop you from opening up your business. That's why they can attack your church. That's why they don't care the street lights on your block is not on, even though it's on your water bill. That's why they talked about lead for a while until they got money, and you heard nothing else about lead. Lead is not done. Lead didn't just go away. Nothing was fixed. So the people are still drinking the lead water because it's not done. It's not, the water is not safe. You just heard the people talking about the lead. You heard the people complaining about the lead. And then all of a sudden, the lead is supposed to be gone. They got money to fix it. But where did the money go? Because it didn't get fixed. And I guarantee you that if you get a kit and run your water and test your water, you'll see there is lead in your water. You'll see that the lead is not gone. The lead is not gone. But it's not fixed either. You heard the uproar about 53206. You know, they made a movie about it, so you know money came that way, but 53206 is still in the condition that it's in. That is sad. That's really sad that it's still like that. So what changed? What changed? Nothing really changed. So when you go to the poll, remember that. Nothing changed. Remember, our children can't read and do math. Remember, there's money missing at the school board. Remember, the city is in trouble. You got to remember that when you go to the poll. Remember, your rights might be violated if the wrong person gets on the Supreme Court. You got to remember all of these things. You can't just go there and say, okay, I'm going to vote, and this is the way I've been voting all the way. You're voting your own rights away. You're voting for people that is intentionally attacking your rights. You're voting for people, and you allow them to use all of these scare tactics, mess with your emotions, mess with your feelings, just to get you a vote a certain way, but they never tell you what they really going to do, because it's not for you to know what they really going to do. It's just for you to get in your feelings and vote them in office. And so those are the things that you got to look at going into the voting booth on the on next week, Tuesday. Going into that voting booth, you got to be ready. You got to be educated. You got to be prepared. I remember when I would look for a job. When I would look for a job, I would do my homework on the company. I would do my homework. So when they ask me, is there any questions, I'm asking questions about the company. I remember when I was, before I got married, yes, by sound bites from the media. Yep. I remember before I got married, I went to get me an apartment. And when I got there, the man says, I need to do a background check on you. So I need some information from you so I can do a background check. I said, okay. I said, but I also need to do a background check on you. I need your social. I need to do a background check on you. I need to make sure that this house is in your name, that there's no violations on this house. I need to make sure that the taxes is paid up on this house, because I don't want to give you my money and all of a sudden the city owned the house and you just took my money and ran. I said, just like you doing a background check on me, I want to know if your credit score is good as a landlord. So the same way you vetting me, I need to vet you the same way. And when I said that to him, he was like, I don't want to rent from you. I don't want you to rent from me. I was like, why not? If you're going to vet me, I need to vet you. I need to know your credit score. I need to know what you stand for. I don't need you to know all this about me, and I don't know nothing about you. I need to know you a real law-abiding citizen. I need to know that you're making sure there's no code violations. I need to make sure that you have not been cited. I need to make sure this house ain't black card. I need to know for just as much about you as you need to know about me. So, you know, that's how I became very knowledgeable on a lot of people, because when you vet me, I vet you back. I need to know about you just like you need to know about me. I need to know if you serious, if you real, if you've been like this all your life. So when somebody say they want to help me on the campaign, I go through their Facebook page. I want to see what they stand for. I want to see who they hang out with. I want to see who they in the pictures with, because I need to know just as much about you, just as much as you need to know about me. And so I'm not going to allow a candidate, without having that conversation, knowing about them. You know how many kids I got? Let me know how many kids you got. You know I'm married? Let me know if you married. It's called building a relationship. It's called knowing one another. The Bible even tells us, know them that labor among you. I need to know you. I'm not going to go and support somebody I don't know. I'm not going to go and represent somebody or do doors for somebody or endorse somebody, and then later on down the line, I find out all this crazy stuff about you. No, I need to vet you now. And that's what you need to do going into this election. You need to vet them. You need to make sure that they're doing exactly, they have done what they said they've done, and you need to make sure that they're doing exactly what they say they're going to do. And when you do that, that's when you stand up for what you believe. And here's the thing about it. I don't want to put nobody in the Supreme Court seat if I haven't vet them, if I have not did homework. The person I'm voting for, I did the homework, had conversation, breaking bread with them. I did it all with them. So I can vote for them. I'm not voting because of something that I heard somebody else say. I'm voting because I had conversation. And because I had conversation, with them, I was able to feel comfortable in voting for them. I got to feel comfortable. I got to feel good about voting for a person. You guys need to feel good. You still got time to make a phone call, have a conversation with them, ask them to stop by your house, however you want to do it. You still have time to go to them and say, tell me this. What is it about you that I should vote for you? Don't tell me no policies. Tell me about the person. I need to know you. Tell me what's about you. And after they tell you, look it up to see if it's true. Look it up, see if it's true. And this is one of the reasons why when I ran for lieutenant governor, they could not find anything about me because why? When I started running, I said, look me up. The only thing you're going to find, I owe some back child support, which I'm paying off. But look me up. That's all you find it. Look me up. I tell people, I don't hide anything. I tell you up front. You should, and every candidate, you should say, what am I going to find about you? I need to know, what about you that I need to know? What that I don't be surprised. If I'm supporting you, if I'm doing doors, or if I'm telling somebody to vote for you, then why am I doing that? I need to have that conversation with you. I need to know exactly who you are as a person, not just a candidate. And why is that so important? Because a candidate, all you're getting is an image. You're not getting the real person. You're getting the image of who this person's supposed to be. But then once you vote him in office, that person go away and you get somebody else. I always say, character does not need an image consultant. If you got character, you don't need no image consultant. Because why? You are always the same all the time. All the time. All the time. And so those are something that you got to do because these elections coming up are very important. Very, very important. You have school board, municipal judge, 3 automatics, 3 referendum, Supreme Court race. And then I know some has a state Senate race. Racine has a mayor race. Kenosha got school board races. I believe they also got, I believe there's a county supervisor race that's also going on. And I'm trying to think what else. That's right. Person with character does not need an image consultant. You got to understand that. So there's a lot of different races, and you guys need to get out and you need to vote. You need to get out, take your friend to vote. You need to get out, take your children that's 18 and over to vote. You got to get people out to vote, because if the Supreme Court race doesn't go in the right direction, you got 10 years of a bad decision. 10 years of a bad decision. 10 years. 10 whole years. And I am supporting Dan Kelly for Supreme Court. Why is that? Dan Kelly, I consider him a friend. I've been knowing him for some years. He spoke at a couple of my Wisconsin revival rallies. He spoke at on my show. We broke bread and sat down, had conversation, not just politics. So I know him as the man, not as the candidate. I know him as the man. And I am confident that he will do what he say he would do for us. So Dan Kelly is my choice for a Supreme Court race. I'm not in the 1st, 5th, or 9th district. I'll just tell you to do your homework on all of those districts. School board race, you gotta look the people up. You got one who used to be on the school board running again. You need to ask him a question. Did the school board fail our children? If he say no, then you know not to vote for him. If he say yes, ask him how. Make him confess it. Make him tell you how they failed our children. But you got some great candidates that's running for school board. I believe that's District 1 and District 3, I believe. I'm not sure, but they're out of my district. So, but you need to know who to vote for. And so it's very important. It's very important for us to make sure, and I urge you, and I pray and I beseech you that you look up Dan Kelly and look up what he stands for, not what they're trying to say in the media. I might say his name wrong. I believe it's Perez. He's running for mayor in Racine. I believe that's his last name, but I had a conversation with him. I met with him, broke bread with him, found out he was a man of God. So, if you live in Racine, look him up. My brother in Kenosha, Lamar Madison. Know him, broke bread with him, met his wife, saw his beautiful daughter. Son was at school. Great man, military man, has a heart for our children. If you're in the Kenosha area, you need to vote for him. You need to vote for him. If you're looking for change, you're looking for a fighter, vote for him as school to put him on the school board. So, you got to do your homework. You got to know these people. You got to ask questions. You got to ask them, some serious questions. What do you stand for? How do you feel about this? What do you feel about that? then you can go in and make a conscious decision on April 4th. But I want to say that the quicker we make up our mind to do the homework, the quicker things can change. They're not going to change if you're just voting the same old way. Einstein says if you keep using the same system that caused the problem to fix the problem, it'll never get fixed. So you can't use the same thing. You can't keep doing the same thing thinking something else is going to change. You keep using the same people and nothing changed. It's not going to happen. We have to make sure that we are doing things differently. The way we vote different now. The way we talk, the way we have to do things totally different than what we've been doing. And we need to vet our candidates. We need to know our candidates, and we need to hold each one that we help get in office accountable to making sure, especially in the Supreme Court race, to making sure that our rights are not violated or taken. And so this is the thing that I want you guys to know. This is the thing that I want you guys to understand, that it's going to take each and every one of us to get things to get things done, and we can't do them the same old. It just won't work. It just won't work. I don't care how you look at it, it's not going to work. I don't care how you dress it up. It's not going to work. You can take a pig out the mud, wash them, give it a bath, clean it up, put a suit on them. I guarantee you that pig is going right back to the mud. And when we keep revolting these same folks in, that's exactly what they're going, right back to the mud. We need fresh people with fresh ideas that is willing to go against the norm, that is willing to stand for what's right, no matter what is. And we all understand standing for what's right is not popular. We already know it's not popular. But you got to have the courage to stand. So, those are the things that you have to look at. And those are the things that you need to worry about, because Tuesday is the election. Tuesday is the election. What will a Supreme Court look like on Wednesday of next week? How will it shift? How will our freedoms shift once we get past this? And the biggest thing is, if you don't get involved now and fight now, and you say, well, I just leave Wisconsin. Well, if you leave Wisconsin, go somewhere else, and you're not fighting, you're not doing anything to make it better, you might as well stay right here in Wisconsin. Because if you're not going to get involved here, you definitely ain't going to get involved into a strange land where you don't know nobody. So what good is it going to do for you to go somewhere else? We need to come together and make change. One change we can do is keep our rights intact by putting the right person in the in the Supreme Court. Because if things get out of hand and government do more than what they're supposed to do, then you got a problem. And then you'll be crying, then you'll be upset, sad, and everything else. But you had an opportunity to make it right. So this is what we got to do, ladies and gentlemen. We got to come together. We got to make sure that everything happens this Tuesday. We got to make sure that we got the right people in office as of next week, Wednesday. We got to make sure that we feel good about our vote, not because somebody told us to vote, but because we did our homework. We have to make sure that everything that is going to take place, it was done right. And so I need to be on a guard and alert. You need to be on guard and alert. You need to be able to tell people why. This is who you vote for and why. Don't use because they're conservative. Tell me why I should support that person. Tell me why. What is this person going to do different than this person? You got to be able to tell them, not just say do it, but don't tell them why to do it. We got to give them a why. You need to vote for this person. Why? Because this person is going to do this, this, and this, and this is what the person have already done. So if I tell them that way, then you got some good information. But when we go out and some people are pushing a candidate, they pushing them because they're either getting paid or they're pushing them because of the fact that they are they just on one side and they can't see themselves coming to the middle or see themselves voting for someone else. This is a nonpartisan race. Every race is supposed to be nonpartisan, supposed to be nonpartisan. Excuse me. But we already know partisan is in it. We already know people are looking for people that will push their agenda. And so is that what your wife said? Because if we do not, we're in trouble. You got to remember, the person that get that seat in the Supreme Court race will be there for 10 years. 10. You got to understand that. You got to realize that. And that way you need to make the right decision. 10 years. So how much of your right can they snatch in 10 years? How much of ruling against the Constitution can happen in 10 years? How much of things that mean so much to you can change in 10 years? This person will be in office until 2033. Think about that. 2033. And that's just the Supreme Court race. All the aldermen, they up for re-election as of 2024. So you got to even look at them and say, we got to make some changes, some drastic changes. So this is something that you got to think about. 10 years, Supreme Court, 10. And I keep saying it, 10 long years. What would Wisconsin look like if the wrong people are in control of our Supreme Court for the next 10 years? Because this is what's at stake. The next 10 years. So I just wanted to come on to talk about next week, Tuesday is election time. Again, I want to give a great shout out to my brother Lamar and his wife, Madison. Lamar Madison and his beautiful wife for the supporting of me and blessing me that I'm able to be back where I'm at tonight. And so I'm very grateful to them as well. And Think About It Tuesday is back. I just did it on Wednesday tonight. I do know my days, but I just did it today because we didn't do it yesterday. So I love each and every one of you. Remember, do your homework before you vote, because your vote is very, very important, and you need to vote. So this is Dr. David D. King. Until next time, God bless.